Hi Cancer, welcome to your March 2022 General Tarot reading. It's Raina here, and I know March has already begun, but better late than never, right? And let's see. It still is at the beginning of the month. Lots of, wow, look at all this money. These money cards. Pick an additional card. Seven of Cups is kind of vague sometimes. The heart of the matter is the Seven of Pentacles. This is a card of the farmer who is assessing his crops and seeing, like, is this working? Is this not working? What should I do next? So the viability of the endeavor that he has invested a lot in, invested financial resources, invested energy, like physical labor into that endeavor, and is it going to yield a crop that he can feel is worthy of his efforts? And so this can be like if somebody has started a business and they've never done something like this before, so they don't know, what the potential is. They might have unrealistic expectations of something just taking off like a rocket, and when in fact it might be slow and steady progress. And actually, this is what this can be. And this can even be with relationships too, where a relationship has been developed over time, and maybe, I don't think that the average Cancer person would be like this, but if you have, I was going to say, if you have inner planets in like Gemini or Leo, you might be more impatient, or your expectations of like something just happening right away may be more what is going on, and that could be very unrealistic and lead to disappointment. So that's one of the things about the Seven of Pentacles, is that the person has to view their situation realistically, whatever that is. Now, because we have a lot of Pentacles here, I mean, look, I picked 7 cards. I picked an additional card, but there, like, 4 were Pentacles. So it will tend to be more of the practical side of life. But here's the thing. This is an important thing too, is that it might be an earth sign individual. If this is like a personal relationship, it could be an earth sign, and that person, you may be wanting a long-term relationship, because the Pentacles can be like something that is tangible, durable. You know what I was thinking about, if you're old enough to remember Sears Roebuck and Roughhouser jeans. That's what it sounds like I'm saying, about love. That's so romantic, isn't it? In the past position, we have the Queen of Pentacles. So this could be like a home business. This could be if you have been staying at home and raising children. The Queen can be the mother, and with the Pentacles, or maybe you just had this nice home, like the Queen of Pentacles, the Four of Wands can be a nice home life, or just really emphasize the home. But if you have been divorced, or broken up with your significant other, then a new relationship is something that is like new territory for you, especially if you haven't been on the market for a long time. So you might be a little bit awkward, like you don't know how to do it, and to navigate new relationships and things like that. And uh, it's like, give yourself time, give a particular situation time to develop. Don't try to rush things. Sometimes, I mean, a Cancer person, if you have the moon in Libra, if you have the moon in Pisces, certain moon signs, you may be, or even like Aries, very emotionally impulsive. You may just want to cut to the chase and replace one relationship with another, and that isn't, a very good idea, because and especially if you have been in a long-term relationship, because it can lead to just not really learning the lessons of the last relationship, and more of a fear-based thing than doing it for the right reasons. But sometimes people do this if they want to give another parent to their child. Maybe they feel like they don't want to be a single parent, and they just want to have that family. And you know what? A Cancer person can pull that off better than most other signs, because you're approaching it from a very practical standpoint. So you're not, trying to be romantic about it. You're just trying to be pragmatic about, what does your children need? And so on that level, if you've got that vibe going on, and if you have good judgment, maybe it wouldn't be such a bad thing if, the other person's on the same page. Again, this could be earth energy. So the earth energy is Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, which is your opposite sign. The higher message is the Four of Wands. This is about the happy home life, and maintaining this type of environment so that you can feel inspired in that environment, instead of like feeling a sense of oppression or something like that. So like, for instance, if you are trying to have like a home-based business, this can be like, what is the end game? The end game is that you feel like you don't have, the way that just came to me is this like compartmentalization. I don't know how to say that, but like your life isn't just these isolated areas where, sometimes people, they go to work and then they come home and they step into this environment and they don't have they don't feel very comfortable there. And you should. And sometimes the best way to handle that is to be there all the time, or to, like, if you're with your children, to homeschool, so that you don't have this kind of disjointed life, and it feels like the best thing for you. And maybe that's what these cards represent. I don't see them particularly to relate to homeschooling or something like that, but that grounded energy for sure. And, for some people, they may say, look, when I am working away from home, or being a stay-at-home parent, for instance, if that's something that has come up, is like, I'm spending all this money for transportation, all this money for maintaining this outer image, and I don't, I can be in sweatpants at home, and I don't have to eat out, or have, or spend all this time trying to pack a lunch and all this, and feel like I don't have enough time to do what I need to do. It's like, that sense of time poverty. So because Pentacles relates to the practical, it can make more sense to do things and focus on the home. So there's some focus on the home. The Four of Wands can be a new home, but this is the higher message. So it's not necessarily me reading this, interpreting this in a literal sense of what the card represents, but more like what it means symbolically, to have joy in your home, to feel like your home is a source of joy and not pain. How does that happen? And, these Pentacles cards speak to practical things that you can do to make your life a lot better. And that could just simply be that you're organizing your life, your household in a way where you have the time to seek joy, creativity, all the things that, freedom, can be the ones. And that's why I said about time poverty. When somebody is on a schedule and they can't deviate for 10 minutes or they're going to get screwed up, then they're kind of like trapped as far as I'm concerned. Some people like it and some people thrive under that. I'm really thinking about myself, that would be hell for me if I had to do something like that. But for somebody else, it might be very invigorating and it keeps them productive. So, to each his own. What crosses you is the Nine of Pentacles. So you may feel that you are not financially independent in a particular situation. And this may be causing you to, like, for instance, going back to the idea of being in home for your children, which I'm, calling homeschooling, but it can be for even younger children, not putting them in daycare because you're staying home. And what the point of this is that, yes, you may not be able to support your children on your own at this time. So if you are a single person or a single parent and you are like that Nine of Pentacles in reverse and you feel like, oh man, I would love to have more freedom, I would love to start my own business, but I don't have I have to rely on a day job, that's fine. The thing is that if you are able to do a little bit each day, and that to me is what the Seven of Pentacles is all about, is just like steady does it, easy does it. And that you're willing to play the waiting game, that you're able to look at the bigger picture instead of just like, oh, I want something to happen for me right now, then you may see everything gel. And it may take a while. But if you are in a situation where you're not miserable, but you're just not, vibing with where you're at, starting your own small business in a very humble way, that can lead to greater things later on if that's something that you desire. But for the meantime, it may be something very, very small that you're doing. If you're somebody who's good at making things like jewelry, you may focus on one item and just do that, sell among your friends and start very small, but it can take off, over time. The key is to persist with it. So what I'm seeing with these pentacles is being very realistic about it, but also being very grounded, not erratic, where you're just putting in a lot of energy one day and then you're just not doing it for a week. And just like being more like, disciplined about it. What's coming in is the Ten of Pentacles. This is a card of financial affluence. This can be an actual inheritance, help from family members. So if you are blessed to have that kind of generosity from somebody in your family and you have a vision, and you feel like you really believe in yourself, then that might be something that you're doing. You may work for your family. You may have your family working for you and helping you to cultivate your dream. I see the Ten of Pentacles is connected to Capricorn, in particular, which, may or may not be true. And astrologically, Capricorn is the sign that Pluto has been transiting in all these years. And so that has really affected your seventh house of committed partnership. And this is a general statement. This isn't necessarily true for, and certainly for some people, depending on how their chart is constructed, it also, and well, for everybody at some point who's old enough to have had it go through your sixth house, that is, it has also in the past changed the way that you have felt about work. So it may be something where you used to be like more concerned about survival, and then you said, I have to do what really, makes my heart sing, what I think I'm good at. And Pluto can be the healer. So if you have been doing things like that, and maybe that hasn't been full scale, that might be something to revisit if that's still something that appeals to you, because Pluto in the seventh house can be having clients. These are one-on-one relationships, the seventh house, and Pluto can indicate that sense of healing others on a one-on-one basis. And even like a divorce, the seventh house can be legal affairs. You can be healed by going through a divorce. Yes, you can. Even a Cancer person who tends to be very, in touch with the past or attached to the past, it may be hard for you to let go of a very close relationship, but you may find that it's for the best and that you thrive after the fact. And the outcome, I got two cards. The first one, I don't like to end with cards that are kind of open-ended or vague. The Seven of Cups is kind of confused energy, but it can be confusing. You may feel confused because you have a lot of options. So if you focus on the freedom of choice, that can make this a more positive card. And an example, using this example of love matters, if a person feels that they are like very confused about which person they want to be with, let's say they are dating and they don't know what to do about that, then the answer is not to do anything. Maybe nobody that you have met has been enough to grab you, and they're not, not literally, but figuratively, and they really don't have that sense of that special quality that you don't even know you're looking for. So the thing is that I really feel like people, a lot of times, they want to have things clearly defined. And sometimes life isn't like that. Sometimes we're kind of like adrift on the ocean. And if we can embrace that season and just allow ourselves to be not sure of ourselves, to not have the vision, to not be able to hold the vision in that moment, then we'll be fine. But everybody, it seems like most people, they want to know where they're going. So they're asking other people, they're asking a psychic or an astrologer or tarot reader, who is going to come into my life? And it's like, beats the hell out of me. Because even if I don't advertise myself as a psychic, but even if I did, that doesn't mean that I'm correct. It would be dangerous to put all your faith into a psychic because they can be wrong. I've had people say, I've gone to a psychic and they said blah, 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 but obviously they've come to me, so it wasn't panning out. You know what I mean? And it's dangerous to do that because you can waste time. You can go down the wrong roads. Not to say that you can't see a psychic, but you have to put it in perspective, in proper perspective. And you have to always ultimately trust your gut and your intuition. But the Seven of Cups can be confusion. So sometimes people feel like there's a blow to their intuition for some reason. Maybe they feel they had poor judgment and now they don't trust anything that they think or that they feel. And that's okay too. You know, if you don't trust yourself, just keep plugging away. And if something is really, really meant for you, I think it will hit you over the head, again, figuratively. And we have an additional card, the Six of Cups. So I think with these two cards, if you know, that's why I was saying this is a soulmate card, the Six of Cups. But what I will say about this, if you are on your own for the first time, maybe in a long time, and you're kind of like, I don't know what to do, I don't know what's the best road to go here. Should I date again? Should I just concentrate on my family if you have children? I would say definitely concentrate on your children if you've just recently gotten split up with somebody, not to just jump into a relationship, because that could be a rebound situation. But for like work, you may not have an idea of what you want to do, but you know you want to plant some seeds. Well, that really speaks to your own sense of self, because if you don't know who you are, it's going to be very hard for you to know what to do. So that's okay if you don't know who you are. You know, it's all a process, and take some time to learn who you are. Again, another good reason not to jump into a relationship, because you can lose yourself in that other person very easily if you're not careful. So cultivating a sense of, you know, what are your likes? What are your preferences versus what you really don't vibe with is a good starting off point. You know, what things give you passion? The Six of Cups is about childhood, and it can be the things that you hold dear from childhood. Maybe you were like a compulsive drawer when you were younger, and people said, man, you're really good, and then you put it on the shelf. Maybe you need to take that out again. And you could go to classes. I'm not like a big person of like, oh, you have to get official training in something. I think that, you know, being self-taught has a lot of positive aspects to it. But sometimes when you're around other people, it can just stimulate you and inspire you. So it's not necessarily for the legitimacy, it's just for the social contact, or, you know, that group inspiration. And so that can give you a good clue on what to do if you don't have any ideas. Okay, that's what I have for you, Cancer. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, I'm primarily an astrologer. I do the tarot as well. But I really promote my chart readings because I feel that it can hone in on things a lot more than the tarot, or at least how I do the tarot. But the tarot has its own place in my personal readings as well. It's not saying that you can't gain any insight from that. But I have deep dive readings, which are double chart readings, an hour of analysis, an hour of transits coming up in the next year, that you can really look at things at a deeper level in your life. You know, I'm not really a fluffy type of reader. I'm kind of challenging people to like, you know, do for themselves, do for self, versus, you know, even with transits, even waiting for the perfect transit, waiting for the perfect time, the outer world. No, what can you do today, tomorrow, to make your life better? And looking at the the challenges in the chart, looking at where your talents lie. That's called deep dive reading. I have other readings, and that's a special price because it is 2 readings in one. So it's the best value. But I have other readings, so please check me out at rainamoonastrology.com. The link is below. Take care. Bye.